Imagine a road with a sheer cliff on one side and a precipice, hundreds of meters below on the other. Now add to that the incredible views of the Rocky Mountains, old mining towns, and the legend of the $1 million. Welcome to the $1 Million Highway in Colorado. Visuals: the most spectacular shots of the Serpentine Road, drone flights, cliffs, and panoramas. Today, you will embark on a virtual journey along one of the most famous roads in the United States. We will explore why it is considered both the most beautiful and one of the most dangerous, where the name $1 Million Highway came from, and what awaits those who decide to drive along this winding road. Where is $1 Million Highway? $1 Million Highway is a section of U.S. Route 550 in western Colorado. It connects the small mountain towns of Ouray and Silverton and is part of the scenic San Juan Skyway. The road runs through the San Juan Mountains, climbing to an altitude of over 3,000 meters above sea level and passing through Red Mountain Pass. For drivers, it is not just a line on a map. It is a series of steep climbs, turns, and descents, where each bend reveals a new panorama: valleys, gorges, snow-capped peaks, and mountain rivers. Where did the name $1 Million come from? There is no definite answer, but there are several legends. The first says that the construction of this mountain road cost a fabulous amount, almost $1 million per mile, due to the difficult terrain and the need to work at high altitudes. According to another version, there was so much gold and silver left in the rubble and soil used to fill the road that it would have amounted to $1 million. There is also a romantic explanation. The views from the road are supposedly worth $1 million, and anyone who has driven here at least once will easily believe this version. The history of the road is closely linked to the gold and silver rush of the late 19th century. At that time, ore mining was actively developing in the San Juan Mountains, and a reliable route was needed to transport the riches and supply the mining settlements. In the 1880s, a toll mountain road appeared here, and later, in the 20th century, it was expanded and turned into a motorway, included in the U.S. Federal Highway Network. To this day, traces of that time can be seen along the route: abandoned mines, rusting structures, and entrances to old tunnels. Why? Is the road considered dangerous? The $1 Million Highway often appears on lists of the most nerve-wracking roads in North America. In many places, the road is carved directly into the rocky slope. On one side is a sheer wall, on the other a steep drop with no familiar safety barriers. The situation is complicated by sharp turns, large elevation changes, and rapidly changing mountain weather. In winter, snow, ice, avalanches, and fog are possible here, making the trip a serious challenge even for experienced drivers. How dangerous is it to drive there? Many travelers note that with careful driving, the road is quite passable. Trucks, tourist buses, and motorhomes regularly travel on it. Narrow and completely wild sections are more a thing of the past than the present. The key risk is not the turns themselves, but the human factor: speeding, overtaking attempts, distraction by the views outside the window. Therefore, the main advice for those who are traveling here for the first time is to drive calmly, without rushing, and not to turn the Serpentine Road into a race. But all this is forgotten when you look out the window. The road passes by the bright red slopes of Red Mountain, coniferous forests, and deep gorges. In spring and summer, the slopes are covered with a carpet of wildflowers, and in autumn, yellow and orange aspens light up the landscape. A special point is Red Mountain Pass. From its height, you can see the San Juan mountain range, valleys, and the road winding far below. This is the moment when you want to turn off the engine, get out, and just look in silence. Ouray and Silverton. The northernmost point of the route is the town of Ouray, often referred to as the Switzerland of America. It is tucked away in a narrow valley surrounded by almost sheer mountain walls, and the drive-in on US 550 is quite impressive. To the south is Silverton, a former mining town that has retained its atmosphere: the Wild West. Low wooden houses, a historic railway station, which is still served by a narrow-gauge tourist train from Durango. Many people combine a trip along the highway with a journey on this vintage train. Visual: streets of Ouray, general view of the town and the valley, then the center of Silverton, Shots of the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railroad train. Tips for travelers. The best time to travel on the $1 Million Highway is during the warm season, from late spring to early autumn. At this time, the road is mostly dry and open, and the views are particularly spectacular before setting off. It is worth checking the weather forecast and the condition of your car, especially the brakes. Do not plan to drive this section at night. It is much more pleasant and safer to drive along the Serpentine Road in daylight, with the opportunity to stop at viewing platforms and enjoy the panoramic views. Visual, road apps/weather forecast on your phone screen. Stops at viewpoints, people taking photos of the scenery. The $1 Million Highway is a place where the history of the gold rush, engineering risk, and the beauty of the Rocky Mountains converge on a single line on the map. Some call this road frightening. Others call it the most memorable trip of their lives. But it leaves almost no one indifferent. Would you like to drive along this road yourself? Write in the comments whether you would risk driving on such a serpentine road and what other dream roads you would like to see videos of on the channel. Local residents also recommend driving through the area during daylight hours, whenever possible, so as not to miss the views and avoid surprises on bends in the dark. For those who are unsure of their driving skills in the mountains, excursions and tours with experienced drivers, or a trip in a convoy of several cars are a good option. The $1 Million Highway is not just a stretch of road connecting two small towns, but a veritable open-air museum where you can see the history of the gold rush, the power of engineering, and the pristine beauty of the Rocky Mountains all at once. For some, it is a road to hell with steep cliffs. For others, it is the most beautiful drive of their lives, for which they are willing to return to Colorado again and again. The drive takes not much time, but it leaves lasting impressions, especially if you get out of the car and take a deep breath, the crisp mountain air, and look around at millions of years of geological history, frozen in red and gray slopes. And perhaps after such a journey, each viewer will decide for themselves why this highway got its legendary name and whether it is worth its $1 million, at least in their memories. In the video, we embarked on a journey along Colorado's legendary $1 Million Highway, one of the most beautiful and nerve-wracking roads in the United States. You saw breathtaking views of the Rocky Mountains, the old mining towns of Ouray and Silverton, steep serpentine roads without guardrails, and learned the story of why this route is considered both a dream road and a road of fear. In the video, we embarked on a journey along Colorado's legendary $1 Million Highway, one of the most beautiful and nerve-wracking roads in the United States. You saw breathtaking views of the Rocky Mountains, the old mining towns of Ouray and Silverton, steep serpentine roads without guardrails, and learned the story of why this route is considered both a dream road and a road of fear. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me on $1 Million Highway. I hope you found it interesting and discovered something new. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Your support helps develop the channel and find new amazing places on our planet for you. Your activity, likes, comments, and subscriptions is the best signal to keep making videos like this. Dangerous roads are a reality in the United States that can cause concern for both travelers and locals alike. Whether it's a narrow mountain road with steep drops or a busy motorway with high-speed traffic, there are many roads in the U.S. that pose a significant threat to drivers.